2016 promises to deliver something for every moviegoer. Yes, even you. Love your comic book capers? There's about 10 of them due out. How about crazy horror sequels, fantasy dramas, westerns? Yes, there's something for everyone. Here's the 16 movies we're looking forward to in 2016.
What are you doing so deep in the jungle?
The Jungle Book. This new Disney version of the classic blends CGI and live action to retell the story of Jungle Book boy Mowgli, which fans of Rudyard Kipling's original tales and the earlier animated classics will of course recognise. Brimming with recognisable A-list talent and gorgeous cinematography, this is definitely one to watch on the biggest screen possible. Assassin's Creed. Michael Fassbender headlines Sony's adaptation of Ubisoft's best-selling video game series as two members of a secret assassin's society. One is Callum Lynch, a modern-day assassin who, with his particular set of skills, must face the Knights Templar of the present day. The other is 15th century Spanish assassin Aguilar, Lynch's ancestor, whose memories are unlocked through what we're assuming is going to be the Animus.
It was the witching hour, when the boogeyman comes out.
The BFG. Years of teasing finally look set to pay off as Steven Spielberg's long-awaited adaptation of the BFG hits screens summer 2016. Roald Dahl's classic provides the story, which follows a young girl, played by Ruby Barnhill, as she is scooped up from her orphanage. However big the giant turns out to be, massive obviously, but how massive, this looks poised to be a return to the family-friendly, feel-good flicks of Spielberg's 1980s era.
Don't cry, Mommy. Don't cry.
Finding Dory. Nemo's happy-go-lucky pal Dory gets the star treatment in the sequel to Finding Nemo. This second chapter is the creative effort of original director Andrew Stanton and animation artist Angus MacLane. The story chases the lovable Blue Tang as she winds up going missing during a sleep swimming adventure. Nemo and his dad Marlin of course feature, teaming up to help locate her and her long-lost family. But the big question is, will we see the return of Bruce the Aussie Shark to dish out more dry one-liners?
He was once the world's most famous male model.
Zoolander 2. Derek Zoolander will strut down the catwalk once more. The creator of Blue Steel is back for round 2, played again by Ben Stiller, who co-wrote and directed the movie. It wouldn't be Zoolander if his on-again, off-again pal Hansel wasn't by his side, nor the eccentric fashion guru Mugatu. Both Owen Wilson and Will Ferrell reprise their roles to aid Zoolander in his quest to save the world's most beautiful people from a dastardly plot to wipe them out. And it's not short on all-star cameos either, with Macaulay Culkin, Lewis Hamilton, Benedict Cumberbatch, Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, Lenny Kravitz and Usher all making appearances.
200 Lander? For years, our world has been at peace.
Warcraft. Moon director Duncan Jones takes on the grand world of Warcraft for this eagerly awaited adaptation of the popular Blizzard game series. Serving as more of a prequel than a straight-up adaptation of gameplay arcs, the film harks back to a time when humans and orcs tussled for ownership. Early promotional artwork clued us in on the dark, moody feel, and with the recent release of the trailer, it's looking like a fairly faithful recreation of Azeroth.
You're probably thinking, this was a superhero movie, but that guy in the suit just turned that other guy into a kebab. Surprise, this is a different kind of superhero story.
Deadpool. This time Wade Wilson's lips are not sealed in the slightest, with Deadpool's promotional fodder poking fun at previous botched attempts to bring this beloved character to the screen. Ryan Reynolds reprises his role as the merc with a mouth who breaks the fourth wall at every opportunity, while he dusts his knuckles with Ajax baddies. As you've probably guessed, this isn't going to be a family outing. Director Tim Miller and Reynolds bent over backwards to ensure an R rating for the movie, and as the trailer so explicitly reveals, there's blood, swearing, and lots of sex.
Wait, did I leave the stove on?
Is that music?
It's a good choice.
Star Trek Beyond. This is the third outing for Paramount's rebooted Star Trek franchise. J.J. Abrams steps down from the director's chair, handing over megaphone duties to Fast and Furious's Justin Lin. The movie picks up sometime after Into Darkness, with the crew of the USS Enterprise facing a new threat after their ship is destroyed by a fleet of aliens, leaving them destitute on an unknown planet. The cast from the previous outings return, along with a few new faces.
Oh my God.
Independence Day Resurgence. 20 years in the making, the sequel to Independence Day boasts an all-star cast for this familiar-looking retread of the original. But when has that ever stopped a sequel from being awesome? Oh. Roland Emmerich directs Jeff Goldblum and an assembly of new cohorts, including Liam Hemsworth and the superb Maika Monroe, as humanity realises that with aliens, one invasion is never enough. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. J.K. Rowling pitched this film to Warner Brothers as a Harry Potter spin-off. Set within the same movie world as the Potter films, Fantastic Beasts takes its name from a seminal book featured on the Hogwarts curriculum and focuses not on its contents, but the man who penned it, Newt Scamander. He's a magi-zoologist, whatever one of them is, who's based in 1920s New York, and it's his experiences that drives this tale.
I want to assemble a task force of the most dangerous people on the planet who I think can do some good.
They're bad guys.
Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad follows on from Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice, taking place in the same cinematic universe. This unwashed rabble are cut from a different cloth though, they're all villains, brought together by Amanda Waller, a government official who sends them on suicide missions as a way for them to pay back society. Whichever side you're on, it should be interesting to witness Jared Leto's fiendish take on the Joker, whose apparent savagery might be hard to convey over the film's PG-13 rating.
Ever since the world found out about mutants, there have been secret societies who see them as some kind of second coming or sign of God.
X-Men Apocalypse. Rounding out the trilogy that began with X-Men First Class, Bryan Singer returns to direct an even bigger assembly of mutants than before in this adaptation of a fan-favourite comic story arc. The Apocalypse of the title also goes by the name Al-Sabah-Nur, and is considered to be the first mutant ever. He rains down a hellish parade on the world when he's resurrected from slumber, and it's down to the do-gooding troops of Professor X's camp to ensure that that doesn't happen. Picking up 10 years after the past segment of Days of Future Past, we get to meet the original X-Men team during the 80s, with Jean Grey, Cyclops, Storm and Nightcrawler all appearing as teenagers. Ghostbusters. Foregoing a straight-up sequel, Paul Feig opted to reboot Ghostbusters with a modern tale involving 4 new spook hunters. Kirsten Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones landed the 4 coveted spots as the newest roster set to hit New York City streets when a spectral outbreak hits. Most of the original cast are said to be making cameos, but the one thing we can't wait for is the first time one of those proton packs fires up. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So, little is known about the first Star Wars anthology movie, and that's part of the allure of the space opera saga. Details or not, the idea of a new story taking place in this world is reason enough to be excited. Godzilla's Gareth Edwards directs the film based on the opening scroll from A New Hope. A group of rebels aim to steal plans for the Death Star before the Galactic Empire wreaks havoc on the galaxy. Edwards' comments at the Disney Expo earlier this year, where the first concept art was revealed, confirmed that it won't share the same aesthetic as other Star Wars movies. Interestingly, he intends it to be a full-on war movie.
Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. I love it. I love bringing people together. How are we?
Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice. Batman and Superman together in one film, and they're not even on the same side. Zack Snyder follows up his first entry into the DC cinematic universe with a superhero smackdown starring Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne and Batman, and Henry Cavill as Clark Kent and Superman. The pair are at loggerheads, Lex Luthor is greasing them up for a scrap, and then Doomsday arrives on the scene. The duo might not be pals to begin with, but as we've seen in the trailer, they'll have to put their differences aside if that dawn is to arrive.
Captain, you seem a little defensive. Well, it's been a long day.
Captain America Civil War. Loosely inspired by the 2006 comic book story arc, Captain America Civil War is what the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been building up to. A massive punch-up between Steve Rogers and Tony Stark. The two Avengers find themselves on opposite sides when the government introduces a Superhero Registration Act demanding those with special skills operate under supervision. Cap and Stark form their teams for what is touted to be an epic, sprawling movie roping in characters from across the entire MCU. We'll even get to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man, who will be making his Marvel Comic Universe debut in the movie. But that's by no means everything, so if you've not seen something you like by now, first, what's wrong with you? And second, maybe Hail Caesar, The Huntsman, Winter's War, Doctor Strange, Bourne 5, The Great Wall, Passengers, Jack Reacher, Never Go Back, Girl on the Train, The Conjuring, A Monster Calls, The Magnificent Seven, Snowden, John Wick 2 or Zootopia will give you the movie fix you need. Let us know what you're looking forward to most in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more movie news right here on Games Radar Plus.